Hey everybody, what are the two most important notes in your solo? In my opinion, the two most important notes are the first note of your solo, because that's the note that brings your listener in. If you play something bland, it's not going to grab your audience as much as if you play a note that has some color to it, that gives them that quizzical, what was that note? It sounds cool, but it reeled them in, so to speak. Think about the notes that are possible against a certain chord. For instance, let's take an A minor chord. And let's say we're going to use something like the A Dorian scale against it. A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. Before you even play that first note, you want to know what it will sound like if you play the note B against the A minor chord. I can hear that in my mind. And honestly, that's one of the notes that I like to start on a lot, is the B, which is the ninth. It's got a great color to it, and it's an interesting way of bringing your listener in. The first thing I'm going to do is play the note A. Sounds good. Of course, it's an A minor chord, so it's going to work. But if you think in the big picture and you're playing with a piano player, there's probably an A in that chord that the piano player is playing. Bass player is playing an A. I mean, everybody's playing an A. And so you might want to do something different. But sometimes it does make sense to use the root. Here's just the note A. This is the root. Nice sound, nothing wrong with that. Now when I go to the next note, the note B, well, that's the ninth, and that's a great sound against a minor chord. 2, 3, 4. Great sound. The note C, that sounds good because it's in the flat third. Up an octave. Now, the next note, which is the note D, that's the sus4 or the 11 of the minor chord. And against a minor chord, I love the sound of the 11. It suspends the listener and it works with the chord. Nice sound. E, that's the fifth. The note E has a very satisfying resting quality. So it's analogous to putting a period on a sentence. It says this is the end of this phrase, and you can pause on it, you can rest on it. And it sounds like this. This is the fifth, E. Again, the fifth has a great resting quality. Use it to end your phrase. You know, you're playing and you're going, how am I going to get out of this? I want to stop for a second. I want to give the listener a chance to absorb what I've played. And I want a note that has a resting quality. And so that's the fifth. Now, the next note is really interesting. It's an F sharp. And in an A minor chord, there's a C. So when you hear that C and the F sharp together, you get a tritone. It sounds funky. It sounds bluesy. But I would advise you to use it cautiously. Know that's the sound that you want. Miles Davis used it all the time, and it creates this kind of tension. The listener is thinking, where are they going to go with that? So that's this sound. This is the 6. Pretty cool. The next note is the note G. That's the flat 7. That's a chord tone. Sounds really good and kind of bluesy too. There you have it. We went through all 7 notes. I say you can start on that note, but you play pickups or you play something in front of that note into that note, and then you hold that note. So let's go back to the 5th for a second. And so I'm going to play into the 5th. Everything that I just talked about, it's all the same. You're getting to the end of the solo. You want to give the listener something that says they're satisfied that, yes, that's the end of the solo and it ended in a cool way. Again, I like sometimes to end my solo on the 9th. But if you really want to put that period on your solo, end on the 5th or end on the root. It's really up to you. But just be conscious of it, that that's the note that you want. It's just not like you're randomly going to stop playing on a certain note because it's the end of your solo and time has run out. So really think about the first note of your solo, the last note of your solo, how to engage your listener, bring them in, and then satisfy them at the end with a really cool, juicy note. Okay, so I hope that was somewhat meaningful, and we'll see you real soon. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel on your way out. For more information on my signature guitar and musicianship courses, check out the information in the links below.